Okay, in this video we are going to have a look at piezo push button switches and piezo sensors. So this is a piezo push button switch. It's called a vandal-proof switch because there's no moving parts. It's all one piece construction, and it's potted on the end here. All electronics are potted inside the enclosure, so it's waterproof, and there's two wires coming out of it. And if you press on the face of the switch, you could activate the load. So you could toggle it. So the two wires, one is ground, one goes to ground, the other one goes to a pull-up resistor, and then the pull-up resistor goes into input of the microcontroller. And when we press on it, we'll get a negative going pulse for about 100 milliseconds, and then we can trigger our load. Now inside this enclosure there's some piezo material and a charge pump, and the output of the charge pump is what's powered up by the pull-up resistor, and it's activated when you press the face of the switch. Okay, I built a little charge pump circuit on my breadboard, similar to the one that's inside my vandal-proof piezo switch. And I got myself a piezo speaker, as you can see here. You get them online, they're very inexpensive. And I mounted it on top of a rubber washer out of a garden hose, and I just scotch taped it down to my bench. So now when I press on the piezo speaker, I can toggle the load, because the open collector of my charge pump circuitry is fed into my Arduino Nano the same way I did with the vandal-proof switch. So basically I'm simulating my vandal-proof switch. Now to go further, we could actually take this part, the switch part, and mount it in some kind of enclosure similar to the vandal-proof switch. Okay, so this is my do-it-yourself piezo sensor. So what I did, I took a piezo speaker and I encapsulated it in two-part epoxy resin. Now you can buy these resin kits from hobby stores or craft stores, or you can get it online. So it's a two-part mix. So you make yourself a mold, and you put the piezo speaker in the mold, and then pour the epoxy resin. I did it multiple times, and I would just cut it. I would just cut them off, so I could make one big mold, and I could have multiple of these, and I just cut them off. And there's the wires coming at the bottom. So it's totally waterproof, and it could take a beating. Now, because it's encapsulated in epoxy, the signal output has to be amplified a little bit more than a charge pump. So I have a little circuit for that. So we'll hook it up to a circuit, and we'll see how we could activate this little piezo sensor. Okay, I have my piezo sensor hooked up to a little amplifier circuit, an op-amp circuit, a CA3140, and I have a potentiometer. That's my sensitivity pot, so I can control the sensitivity of the circuit. So when I tap on the sensor, I'll get an output from my op-amp, which will turn on this LED. So if I tap on my sensor, you can see my LED come on. I could tap anywhere on the sensor. And it's pretty sensitive. Use a pencil. So you could come up with your own applications. So the sensor is waterproof, and you could drill some mounting holes in the epoxy and mount it. And I built underwater switches, I built waterproof switches, I built pickups for drum pads. So you can come up with your own applications when you build your own piezo sensor.